painting by Rembrandt, the sum of his works inspired Baudelaire to write Rembrandt's Sad Hospital Full of Murmurs. Self-portrait at the age of 63 by Rembrandt, the year of his death. The painter affirmed, "I do not paint the man, I paint the passage." An architectural fantasy painted by van der Heyden. A river scene with a Dutch yacht by Van der Capelle. A coast scene, Jan van der Capelle, Amsterdam 1626 to 1679. The Swearing of the Oath of Ratification, painted by Gerard Terborch, born in Zwolle in December of 1608 and died the 8th of December 1681. A beach scene with fishermen by Ludolf Bascoysen, 1630 or 31 to 1708. Dutch Gallery. The Countryside, painted by Salomon van Ruysdael, born in the first few years of the 17th century, died 1670. It makes you want to rest for a moment. A winter scene with skaters near a castle by Averkamp, 1585 to 1634, one of the greatest painters from the Dutch school of the 17th century. He specialized in winter scenes. The painting originally extended into a square shape. A work by Jan Steen, painter of the Dutch school, a moralist. Willem van de Velde, a Dutch painter who dedicated his talent to the sea. A terrible naval battle scene by Ludolf Bascoysen. View of the Westerkerk, Amsterdam, painted by Jan van der Heyden, probably in 1660. A canvas by Gerard Terborch, Dutch subject and portrait painter, influenced by Velázquez. A young woman seated at a virginal, painted by Vermeer, Dutch painter of the 17th century. The Flemish artists are found here. A work by David Teniers, the Younger. A work by David Teniers, the Younger. Rubens, The Judgment of Paris. What a dilemma. Paris had to choose between one of the three divinities, Venus, Juno, or Minerva, and anger the other two in the process.
There was nothing to it but choose all three.
Peace and War, Rubens, the Old Master, painting probably executed in 1629 or 30, illustrating the hopes for peace between England and Spain, the painter's mission at the time. Rubens was, in effect, also a diplomat. Peasants at Archery, David Teniers the Younger, 1610 to 1690. Baroque, I would say. Portrait of a Man, canvas loaned to the museum, work of an unknown artist, dating between 1645 and 1655. Canvas painted around 1620, unknown artist from the Flemish school. Portrait of a boy holding a rose, around 1660 and attributed to François de Chastel, a Flemish painter. A family group by González Cox. Hearing, canvas by González Cox. He earned his nickname Little Van Dyke through the elegance of his paintings. Look, a white horse standing by a sleeping man by Peter Verbeek, possibly derived from a 1652 print by Paulus Potter. Sight, portrait of Robert van der Hoek, by González Cox, between 1614 and 1618, died in 1684. A Sunset by Rubens, one of the greatest Baroque painters of the 17th century and in the history of painting in general. Van Dyck in person. This artist had a huge influence on English portraitists. He is considered to be the creator of the English school of painting. Lady Elizabeth Thimbleby and Viscountess Andover by Van Dyck. The Balby Children by Van Dyck, 1599 to 1641. There's no inscription here. I'll speak to the director, perhaps. German Gallery. Hans Holbein the Younger died of the plague in London in 1543. His works are on loan to the museum. The painter's father, Albrecht Dürer, he's probably seen happier days. A Crenach. Crenach's style has such ambience, he depicted well the total lack of fantasy. Portrait of a Woman by Lucas Cranach the Elder, 1472 to 1553, official painter of the Saxony court. Charity by Lucan Cranach the Elder, canvas loaned to the museum. St. Catherine of Alexandria, in good company, painted around 1450 by Stefan Lochner, a hand shutter of an altarpiece presented in 1863 by Queen Victoria at the Prince Consort's wish. St. Paul on Malta by Adam Elsheimer, 1578 to 1610. The Ambassadors, 1533 by Hans Holbein the Younger. In the foreground we can see a distorted skull, a symbol of mortality. The Virgin and Child by Albrecht Dürer, 1471 to 1528. Painter, mathematician, and foremost, an engraver, a virtuoso of the Buren. Ooh, Judith in the Tent of Holofernes by Johann Liss, 1595 to 1631. What will she do with that head? Tobias and the Archangel Raphael by Adam Elsheimer, German painter. The Archangel should ask what kind of bait he used. This canvas was acquired in 1894 by the National Gallery. It was based on a composition he had previously done. A work that just exudes the joy of living by Lucas Cranach the Elder. Canvas by Adam Elsheimer, the most famous German painter at the beginning of the 17th century. There's no inscription here. The painter who was conversing with the director has such character, to the point of taking some of it out on this poor plant. There, it seems that we've found the famous ledger. It's written in shorthand and there are hundreds of entries. Let's bring it to the archivist.
I said I didn't want to be disturbed.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Farewell, Palinor.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Here is your ledger, my friend.
You found it! Many thanks. You won't say anything to Sir Pointer?
Rest assured. Are you familiar with how the entries are written? Everything seems to be abbreviated.
I understand how to locate a thematic group and how to read a description, but I am struggling with the location codes.
It's better than nothing at the moment. We're searching for a painting that has a connection to the Battle of Trafalgar.
Depicting what exactly?
According to this poem, it could be...
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
It might refer to a boat. Its master was Admiral Nelson, and the thief wanted to run it aground. Moreover, the boat would have a French name.
Wait! I have a suggestion. A very popular painting, symbolic even, The Fighting Temeraire, a Turner. In this painting, Turner is described as having mastered painting techniques, and it is one of the most beautiful English paintings of all time. The subject, a boat by the French name of Temeraire, was involved in the Battle of Trafalgar and distinguished itself by protecting Victory, the flagship on board which was...
Victory, did you say?
Yes, Admiral Nelson was on board. Temeraire received a special distinction, but I am not certain of which. The painting shows it being towed to the breaker's yard, I believe.
Where would I find it?
I don't know. You would have to search through the English works of this century near the west section of the gallery.
My thanks, Palinor. Come, Watson, let's take a look at the painting. Sun Rising Through Vapor by William Turner, 40 years. Here's what I've been looking for. The Fighting Temeraire. Splendid. What do you think?
I agree, it's splendid. The existence of this painting would seem to give credit to this whole affair.
As long as this painting remains on this wall, this letter, even if it is eloquent and provocative, is nothing more than a letter. It is possible that all of this could be a hoax with no substance whatsoever. We will know soon enough, as the theft will have to take place tonight.
We must warn the museum's director, Holmes.
You are correct, Watson. Shall we?
Fantastic! Superb!
There, Maestro. I believe that everything is settled.
This collaboration will be my crowning glory, my masterpiece. Merci!
I have finished the inventory of the works of art, Director. Oh, and I have the pleasure of introducing the great detective Sherlock Holmes and his companion, Dr. Watson.
Good day, gentlemen. It's with pleasure that I welcome you to our gallery. I trust that you are here for pleasure and not business?
I'm afraid that is not the case.
Oh.
When it is no longer a matter of art, the artist must make his excuses. Messieurs, until we meet again, no need to accompany me. I know the way.
My apologies, gentlemen. Have you been waiting long?
Mr. Palinor was able to answer all of our most urgent questions. Tell me, who was that man who just left?
That was Horace Velmont, a French painter. One of the best, seemingly. His letters of recommendation come from some of the grandest salons in Paris.
A Frenchman? Let's take a look, Watson.
Yes, he's very avant-garde. He heard that we were showing the works of modern painters during our temporary exhibitions. He has loaned us a number of paintings and has promised to donate those that have the greatest success to the museum.
Lestrade, just in time. And the Frenchman, Watson?
Gone?
Director, this is Inspector Lestrade from Scotland Yard. Lestrade, this is the Director of the National Gallery, Sir Pointer, and his assistant, Mr. Palinor. Lestrade, would you have your constable on duty guard the entrance and make sure that nobody comes into the museum? Director, is there anything else?
No, but...
If you would care to follow me, I'll show you what the motivation behind all of this is. The reason for this little gathering is this letter that I received at my lodgings this morning. Without getting into too much detail, it claims that this painting, the Fighting Temeraire, will be stolen tonight.
Pardon?
There now. It's because of a letter that you've disturbed me. You believe that?
I would never have taken the liberty to disturb you if this letter, the authenticity of which I must admit hasn't been completely confirmed, was not written by the one and only Arsène Lupin.
Arsène Lupin?
Arsène Lupin?
Us? Arsenal? Who? Lou? What?
Arsène Lupin, the most wanted cat burglar in the world. We will know soon enough whether or not this letter is a fake, or if I had reason to disturb you, Lestrade. But you must understand that we couldn't take even the slightest chance.
Perhaps. Why not simply put this thing under lock and key in the bank or at Scotland Yard?
We cannot risk storing the painting in an improper environment or to entrust it to anyone who calls it a thing.
All that would achieve would be to shift the problem. This painting is priceless. Beware he who would harm it. What I propose, Lestrade, is to do a tour of the museum with Sir Pointer in order to check any possible points of break and entry, and leave 2 men on duty here tonight. In addition, Director, you must close the museum to the public and not let anyone else in.
If you feel it's necessary.
And you, Holmes?
I'll pass by tomorrow at dawn. We'll know then what we're up against. Should the unthinkable have occurred, I insist that nothing is touched until I arrive. Is that clear? Let's be off, Watson.
Listen, Inspector, I have a lot of work to take care of. It would be better if I leave you to do a tour by yourself. You are, after all, a professional. Here are the keys to all of the locked doors. If you need me, I'll be in my office.
Well, I best inspect the museum to find any of Lupin's possible exits, including mice holes. Nothing to report. No, no exits on this side, nothing to report. It's dark in this box room. Good. No windows, no possible entry.